Yeah, so basically we are working on a new branch of the website. We're rebuilding it from Astro. So kind of the old issues we were facing with the older site, I think, or the current site, those are kind of we're kind of the two separate branches right now. So today's video we're going to did that answer your question properly, Taylor?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, welcome out everybody. We'll dive right into today's purpose of the meeting. So, um, we are working, of course, on the ODev's website refresh project. Um, Actually, let me just do something real quick before you can see my screen, right? You can see my email.
Yeah.
Is that correct? Okay, cool. I don't know what else I have. Okay. All right. So let me pull this up real quick separately. Bear with me for a moment. So I'm writing a running blog on the project we're working on, called um, let's see. So I have like a multi-part blog that I'm running as kind of keeping track as we're going along. So whoever's watched this video, if you want to kind of catch up, maybe you're jumping into this project right now, you can go to that link. I'm gonna have the link in the description of this video. So where we're at right now is we are working on we have thanks to a lot of amazing work in this particular phase, David Kerr really stepping up and doing some amazing work on developing the new Astro themed web application. It's been amazing to thumb through it. You can see a link to the current application here. Oh, wait a minute.
Here, I'll send a updated link.
All right, cool.
I had to do some stuff.
All good. Um, Not super critical right now, but this is so we're basically working on a whole new branch of the site, rebuilding it with Astro. We are going to our goals are to have integrated event management, sponsorship framework with sponsor cards, community focused features, enhanced navigation for mobile users or intuitive button based menus, streamlined pathways for contributors, and synergistic engineering. Align all stakeholders and systems for perfect operability through primal engineering methodologies. Uh, I've engineered an AI engine for this project called the Orlando Devs Website Engineer, which you can click here. And this AI engine has basically all information about this project leading up to this very moment. This video will be assimilated and integrated into its knowledge base as well. Um, and we do that through, just for everybody's reference, uh, we do that through a file repository that's also included here, or it should be, um, for the Orlando Devs website. There in here, there is a directory called Orlando Devs Website Engineer, and here are its core documentation that's using for its knowledge base training, including the master knowledge base, which has a complete integrated overview um, of the project all the way up to this point. So you can use this for helping to uh, integrate into the ecosystem, both yourself and the applications you're developing. Uh, so, without further ado, today we're going to be, um, uh, David, are you prepared to do a little walkthrough on what you developed so far?
Yeah, I mean, I can run through the components that I have so far.
Cool. So, the idea here is with this video, maybe a great place to start would be, let's kind of treat this as kind of like uh, an onboarding for new contributors to understand the ecosystem, to understand the application, how to how to connect to it, and how to and kind of how to contribute and kind of go through some of the basic level engineering you've done so far, and then maybe we can actually work on some type of feature update in this meeting and kind of go from there. You agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'll show whatever I have so far, like the components, the component structures, how I have it all kind of like set up and the interfaces and all that. So
Sounds
that you
good.
kind of,
I'll let you take over screen share.
all right. Can you guys see it?
Yes, we can. I know Taylor, you're in the meeting. If you have any questions or anybody's watching us after the fact, if you have questions, just drop them in comments, and then we'll try to address those.
I'll keep you posted.
All right. So how I started this project was pretty much we're using Astro, which is a pretty cool static website generator. And to install is pretty easy. You just obviously open up a new terminal and then uh, npm or actually no, it's create.
Hey, we're looking at your
Mhm.
desktop that has no movement on it right now, just so you know.
Oh,
I think you might
okay.
extend the desktop.
Yeah. You see the
Yeah,
my code editor?
you're good now. Go ahead and
Okay. So yeah. Um, for Astro, you can just go Astro build. Then obviously you can go down here, you can get started, run the command to install Astro, and then once you do, we are using TypeScript in this project. So once it prompts you, you can go and select TypeScript, whatever other frameworks that you're working with it. I'm personally using Tailwinds and React, so I went ahead and installed those components. And again, you can just go to the docs here and just read up on how to add all those components. They're pretty simple to do. The commands needed. Once you do that, um, so how I had the project structured, I got the components where all my Astro components reside. I got the content, which is where the markdown files are going to be. And the data, this is just something temporary that I'm using. I'm just using a simple JSON file that I created holding the information for the board of advisors, directors, the groups, and the sponsors. Uh, Here I got the interfaces for my JSON data, so just the types and whatnot. And then from here, I have the layouts. So the layouts with Astro is pretty cool. You can create a main layout, which you can go ahead and pass your HTML file here, and you can basically dictate the background or whatever layout you want. So if you want your website to have pretty much the same layout all throughout, or just kind of like here I have the nav bar and the footer, which is going to be the exact same throughout the whole website. You can pass it through here, and every page that you visit, as long as you wrap it within the main layout component, it's gonna go ahead and show up with the main layout. And here I just have some basic CSS for the body, just or the HTML. taking out the padding and the margin so I can have access to the whole web page and not be constricted by anything that the HTML or the page might have by default. And yeah, the section is just I want it to be the width of full, so it takes up the whole web page. And um with Astro, you have to pass in the slot here. So basically, what Astro does is it takes all the pages and basically passes it through the slots. So it like the slot acts kind of like a placeholder where if you're familiar with React, instead of doing React router and then putting all your routes inside a React router, basically the slot is going to be doing the exact same thing as a React router in that instance. Down here, I have my pages. So the cool thing about Astro is um, once you like once you have your folder structure or your component structure like this, where you declare the pages, every file that you put here, this is going to be the basically the end link for you to access the web page. So here for about, whenever you go to, let's see here, right here, whenever you go to About Us, it shows up About. You go to Events, Events, you go to Sponsor, Sponsors. So if you see here, it's basically the same name. It just has the .astro after the name of the page that you're wanting to navigate to. So it makes it super easy to basically create new pages. And then with this, you can import components such as, let's see here, like sponsors. I created a sponsor list component where most of the code for the sponsored cards and the sponsored pages lives. That way I can separate and run my map function out here and just have a good amount of code here, and then I can import it into sponsors.astro, and then I can wrap it around the main layout. So it's gonna have the default styling of the main layout as the background, and then it's gonna have the nav bar and the footer be the same all throughout the website. And then I can create a div where I can add more styling, which I have here. I just wanted to do kind of like a box within a box. So I have my navbar here, and then I created this is the sponsors div, and inside of here, obviously this is my sponsored list component lives. Then from there, I do have one React component, which I might add another one for the events for the navbar. For me personally, it was just easier to create a React component to go ahead and make the navbar responsive. So if you go ahead and take a look, whenever it goes down to a certain width, it's going to transform into this hamburger. And when you click on the hamburger, it's going to animate, make the X, and then you have all the um, other links that you can go to. You can go about here, and then it's going to direct you to the page. And then if you go ahead and zoom out, or you're in a bigger screen, it goes back to the normal nav bar. But yeah, so far I just have the main page done. I wanted to kind of make it more approachable and more like community driven. Let's see here if I can pull up the actual Orlando devs. Yeah, so I mean, this is the original. So there's no real picture here. There's it's kind of cut and dry, which I'm fine with if we're wanting to do something a little bit more different than just having this. I'm fine with. maybe switch out the styling. I know that Nick Walsh shared the Figma here. So he posted this Figma, which is a pretty clean design. Obviously, my design is missing kind of like these little background designs, some of the little random divs with the SVGs in them, but definitely trying to mimic this as far as the color schema goes and the font style. But I kind of added a little bit different kind of look to the homepage. To me, this looks a little bit more community driven. It just kind of shows what the Orlando devs are trying to do, which is bring more people into their events and just have kind of like a uh more of a community feel. Obviously, I'm thinking about adding some of the design to the background here. Um, I personally don't have any like UX UI experience other than just like formatting the divs and just making everything look somewhat nice. But as far as like the graphic design aspect, I don't have any experience. So anyone that has experience in that and kind of uh, incorporate the signs back here, like this design or just like these random divs with the little SVGs in them, that'll definitely be greatly appreciated. But yeah, man, pretty much I just been trying to make it clean, but still make it more engaging and just having kind of a website where people look at it, it's like, oh, like this is actually like a community that cares about their website, just kind of like show what people in the community can do rather than like, I mean, this definitely gets the point across that hey, it's like they're mostly driven by like the events and joining the Slack and obviously the sponsors, but other than that, there's definitely a lot of improvements. Like we can go to the events here. Like I'm definitely looking to make a little bit better cards where the text doesn't spill out from here, and then all the cards are the same size, so it looks more uniform and more professional. Uh, Eddie and I were talking about having a calendar here, and I also spoke to Brian about it, and he was pretty much on board with having the calendar and just having like like a link up to their people's Google account, so they can just click on it and just add it to their Google Calendar, which will make things a lot easier for visitors of the website. But I am also thinking of keeping some cards like these, obviously, like style them a little bit better, keep some things of it, like the like this little div right here, I think is pretty cool. Maybe move some of the information like a little bit higher. So having the title of the event and then just having the time and the location up high. So like people don't have to scroll all the way down to see where it's at. That way it's like, hey, it's this date and this is the event and this is the time and the location, then the description. Where I think also about making probably like a toggle feature where the card cuts out after a certain amount of characters, and then if you want to see more of it, you can just click the ellipsis and it just displays more content. Uh, but yeah, I mean, so far I have the main page, the About Us, which just kind of showcases a brief description of who the ODEs are. The board of directors right now, I just have placeholders for the photos. I need to get with the board of directors and the advisors and get pictures of them. And if they want to even want their pictures to be put up, I did put a LinkedIn button here where they can put their LinkedIn profiles, and that way people can connect with them or reach out to them. I don't know about putting either emails, definitely not phone numbers. So that's something I will have to talk to Brian about. But here, the board of advisors, I can also add the connect or the LinkedIn button here, so people can connect with these other people who run ODevs if they desire. This is just something that I mimicked from the old website, just kind of like giving kudos to the former board members. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all I have right now. And then the sponsors, I just made it so the sponsors will have their name, their logo, and this is just generic description that I just added made. I just want it to be 1,000 characters long. And then if you click down here, it takes you to their actual website. So if people are interested in either hiring them or getting to know more about them, I kind of want people I like kind of bring sponsors in. Obviously, they definitely help make all the events happen. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. Anything else that you're wanting to know, Eddie, or any suggestions?
First and foremost, huge shout out to you, man. This is awesome. You did this is somebody hire this man immediately. Uh, that's awesome. So, there's a couple of things I want to talk about, but before I do, is what I want to open the floor up. Taylor, do you have any questions or insights you wanted to share before we kind of move forward?
None so far.
Okay, cool. So David, let's dive into a couple of things. So what what are your thoughts on, do you have any thoughts you want to share about moving forward from this point? I kind of have some ideas I want to share, but is there anything you want to throw out there before I share this?
Um, no, I mean, the next thing I was thinking about tackling was the events page. And like I was saying earlier, I'm trying to see how would be the best way to kind of having like a full calendar here where people can actually see like the events for that month or that week and kind of adjust their schedules accordingly, and then just having some cards below the calendar with more details on the events and the location, and just trying to connect the calendar to having like if people click on it, it can just add the event to their Google calendars.
Okay. So let's talk about how okay, so obviously long term word. So talk to us about the deployment both right now and long term, and or I should say kind of the deployment as you have it right now, and how this is going to function once we get ready to officially deploy it as a live application.
So as of right now, I just created this repo on my own personal GitHub, and I'm deploying it right now on my personal Vercel account. So, but deploying on, I know that Brian wants to use Netlify, but deploying on Netlify or Vercel with Astro is super easy. You basically just go here, Vercel, and then you literally just run this this command, and it basically prompts you to like it puts the files in the correct place. Like you can see it configs it right here where it says the adapter Vercel. So if you want to deploy on Netlify, basically you follow the same steps. and it just kind of Astro makes it super easy where it kind of does everything for you. Like it sets up it's the same with the React and the Tailwind dependencies. It basically builds the file for you and just kind of makes it pretty much seamless. And then once you connect the project to your GitHub repo, or in this case, it will be the Orlando Devs repo. Pretty much, as long as you have access to it and you can push to that repo, it just automatically updates the website for deployment.
Perfect. And then so at this point, to what level of us of how do you envision us as a community moving forward from this point? You know, how could we contribute in the most and the best ways in your mind as are we able to contribute to you to this application right now? Or if and kind of talk to us about that.
Yeah, so I mean, I do have access to the actual repo that was created for the project. So I just need to create my own branch, and then I'm probably just gonna copy and paste all the components here that I have so far, and just pull a PR and hopefully get it approved so it can be pushed to main. But other than that, like I said, events still need to be done, and then the groups needs to be done, and join us on Slack needs to be done. But once that's done, it's pretty much good to go. Uh, Other than that, like if anyone wants to tackle either the styling or kind of like the groups, because I don't know if all these groups are actually active. So I know the Orlando devs are, the DevOps are. I did see that today there was a event for the Innovation League, but the Orlando JS, PHP, the Codex, Lady devs, front end devs, like all these, I don't know if they're even active. So I'm definitely gonna try and talk to Brian and see if any of these groups are just not there anymore. Also, there's the Python group, and I think there's a SQL group too. So I don't know if they're part of the ODevs and if they have any interest in having their websites or like contributing to this website.
Yeah. Um, so I was gonna say but one of the things we can add to the site I think would be is a contributor section, and basically we can use that to have learning modules and kind of in the process of people coming on and into the community and they become contributors, developing their skills, furthering the vision and goals for Orlando devs of building community. And we're being on the front edge of these development processes. So my thought, so like this video right now is going to serve as like the first video in the training system, right? So this is kind of like a
Mhm.
generalized overview of the application layer. I think probably the next video we should probably make is um kind of like contributing for dummies kind of video. So uh maybe we could prepare, and I don't know how hard this would be, but maybe it's something we can do now. You probably I would keep it separate for a separate meeting, but we can actually go through and maybe I can try to set up a configuration on my side and go through the process of submitting a pull request and working on a pull request as part of our next video. Do you feel like that would be beneficial?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely for another video. But yeah, I mean, going through the process, uh, we should also, if we're gonna do kind of like a contributors section, we should also have Brian's approval or the ODES approval, because Yeah, I mean, it would definitely be something pretty cool. This being an open source project where people can contribute and just as like, oh, I saw that this is broken or whatnot, like I can fix it. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of appeal for a website that developers are part of that they have a hand in either helping out or just kind of like keeping it running smoothly.
Yes, sir. Um, Listen, this is amazing. David, like honestly, like you are you're a very talented and a very professional person. Uh and very impressed with everything you doing. I've also kind of followed some of the other stuff that you're doing. I mean, I think it would be amiss if I didn't give you a chance to share. How can anybody get a hold of you directly, both personally and professionally, or however you want to do that? I think you have a blog, if I remember correctly, um, that you're sharing as well, right?
Yeah, I mean, I have my own portfolio. So right here, I don't know if you can read that or the link to it,
Nice.
but yeah, I mean, uh, the portfolio has all my works and kind of like the technologies that I'm used to, and I'm obviously trying to build up on my technologies, including Astro, TypeScript, and yeah, it kind of gets you link to my projects
And
and
now,
just a
now
brief description.
you got to add Orlando Devs to to the top of that list.
Yeah, I mean, I'll definitely wait on that one until it's deployed and
So,
people can actually see it. But yeah,
so big kudos to everybody who's been part of this project so far. Taylor, did you have any feedback or questions or thoughts you wanted to share before we kind of move to the final part of this meeting today?
No, not much. It seems like we're moving towards using Astro instead, which is similar. Whether we're doing Metafly or Vercel. I think we're doing some like raw thing before to do our build. It was 11. I think Astro is fine. It would be nice to have this actually start going live. That was the issue we got blocked before. Is like it was a Michael owned the original domain, so you have to get that set up so actually PRs would go live and not just be part of ongoing development attempts.
Understood.
yeah, I mean, yeah, for the like this like I just decided to make my own repo and kind of like started to like mess around with it just to have like an idea, and if people liked it then pursuing it. But yeah, I'm definitely planning. I do have access to that repo, like I said, so I'm definitely gonna make my own branch and do a pull request and see if it gets approved so other people can start contributing.
That sounds awesome, man. That's great. So maybe what we're going to do next is I'm going to take this entire meeting, ingest it into all of our documentation and update our AI engine for this project. And then also in the meantime, you're going to work on getting that approval with your own branch. And then maybe in our next meeting, we'll do like a kind of like a contributors for dummies or ODevs contributors for dummies video and do a walkthrough of on a like maybe I'm happy to do it on my system and we'll do a walkthrough of accessing the repo, uh setting up the contributor environment and actually work on um working through our pull request process and contribution process, if that makes sense.
Okay, sounds good to me.
Sweet. Well, this has been awesome. I'm going to take this video. I'm going to be posting it. I'm posting it to my personal blogging environment. which includes my YouTube channel and then a YouTube channel I have, and I also post it to my that blog that I showed earlier. So I'll be doing an update blog entry update on that series. And for anybody who's interested in following along, um, but once again, big shout out to everyone, especially David and Taylor, for your contributions. And I guess that's it for today. We'll put something on schedule for after the new year. So after we get through all the holidays, I think that would give us plenty of time to get done what we need to do uh before then. Is that you agree, David?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds pretty good to me.
Awesome. Well, uh wishing you guys happy holidays and a amazing new year. And we'll set up for something like the second or third week of January.
Perfect.
Happy.
Yeah. Take care of yourselves. Keep your head up.